Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our weekly connection with the wisdom of Kabbalah. Thank you for joining us over here as well. And I know some of you listen online, and some of you getting those clips and shorts, and a lot of people enjoying that. So I'm happy to continue and do many of that, as long as we get more benefits from that and we grow from that, not just to clear our mind, but really to grow and get inspiration from that. This week, and I want to remind you, we are entered already to what we call the month of Cancer. And in the month of Cancer, it really represents for us the partnership with the Creator in this reality, which means represented by how much protection do I feel that the world needs? How much do I think about the world? How much do I think about the people of the world? Do I think about only a group of people? Do I think about just my friends and family? Do I think about the company I work with? Or all my clients? Let's say when you make a connection or when you pray, do you pray for your clients and their children? Or, no, I'm just doing business with them. But the reason you interact with them, because there is some kind of what we call in Kabbalah arvut, responsibility. And this is this week. This week is to enlarge, increase, or awaken more responsibility for the world. And the reason is becoming to this month, the month of Cancer, which we know it lack of the Shekhinah. Shekhinah is the protection shield. The Shekhinah is the connections. The Shekhinah, what makes us feel the prophecy and all of that. Divine inspiration. Many of those levels are in vacancy this month. Why? To give us the opportunity to awaken that Shekhinah, to bring our protection by taking more responsibility. How does it work? We learn in Kabbalah, there are the four kingdoms. The kingdom that we're talking about is the mineral kingdom, the inanimate objects, the vegetation kingdom, vegetables, fruits, and all of that, and the animal kingdom, and the human kingdom. Each one of them is dependent on each other, just to make sure that we are clear about. Like we learn in the way they describe in quantum physics, right? A butterfly, pluck its wing in one area, there is a storm in the other area. Someone in China ate rice, caused something in the other side of the world to be chaotic, right? That's how they describe it. Kabbalistically, it's true, but we call it responsibility or arvut. We are a guarantor for each other. We are here to support all kingdoms, not just me and my square and my little circle. So more of us grow spiritually, more of us can take more responsibility and bring protection to the world. I shared earlier that Chukat, this is the name of the portion, Chukat represent the laws or the statutes. And what does it mean? Is the Torah, is all laws? No. Is a connection between cause and effect. People look at that as a religious artifact, as a religious connotation, as a control, as a dogma. Yes, that's how it was used until now, until we have the wisdom to tell us, no. The Kabbalists share with us the pain of knowing that people go about it wrong. And people disconnect from that tool because they were forced to it. Kabbalistically, we want to receive more of that. Why? First is if you understand that everything in this world, everything, every part, it has a supernal connection. The animal or this, I just learned and shared that last Shabbat, of course, I spoke about it some times ago, but you know why the birds singing in the morning, even if it's before the sunrise? I looked into it, because one night I was staying up that night, then it's still dark, and it says, why the birds are singing? So I started research, but obviously scientifically or biologically or whatever the reason is, the birds singing to the flowers to open up and tell them, wake up. It wake up the world of nature. It's part of the communication system. Now, it's really fascinating, right? How the tree communicating, how underneath there's a communication system. Humans have the highest level of communication system. Therefore, this is what we want to awaken. Because when human beings are connected, all the kingdoms work in perfection. You have to understand, when human beings are united, all the kingdoms, the entire world, will be just working towards one goal. Revealing the light of the Creator, revealing everyone's potentials, and elimination of death, pain, and suffering. That's the results of that. So now, most of us need to be in a place that we know the good and the bad is influenced by everyone. And the bad, even the bad, eventually will lead to the ultimate good. Most of us with consciousness need to know this week. This week's energy is a crucial moment that we bring ourselves to the place where we know everything is connected, not as a concept. Yeah, we all one. Yeah, we all the same. Yeah, we all like to talk this way. But to know and to see the connection, it's a whole different level. It's like the simple way I can tell you is like when we were kids and you had that Pictionary with numbers and you move with the line from 1 to 2 to 5, then all of a sudden you see a duck. Wow! I could not anticipate that picture before it was just numbers. Same thing. All the characters in your life, all the characters that plays in your movie are all going to form a beautiful picture. But it's up to you to assemble that picture. It's not to them. It's not some God comes. This is what the Torah is about. This is what Kabbalah is about. The Kabbalists know that without this wisdom, there is no single chance. That's what the Kabbalist premise is about. Without this wisdom revealing in this world, there is no single chance beside pain, suffering, and chaos. But that's not what we striving for, right? In a healthy, in a balance, in a beautiful setting, to study, to communicate, and to reveal light. That's it. So this is what it's all about. This week. What is it represented by this week? And I'm going to give you 5 points. Very quick and directed point for how we can increase the connection to the perfection. One, there's a unique story in this portion. It's called the Red Heifer. The priests were ordered to get a heifer or a cow that is all red. Red heifer. It has to be all red. That not single dark or white hair, no single blemish, not working for a second in her life, right? Nothing. Pure. And then they taking it and then they sacrifice and burn it, and that ashes meant to cleanse the entire world, the nation and the world. Wow, very interesting idea, right? Some say that that never happened actually. That situation with that heaven, some say never happened. So if it never happened, why it is written? Why do we need to know about it? This understanding here, it's to connect to that flavor of the red heifer. What does it mean? It represents until we get to the level of perfection, that we know how everything is so perfect. Some of us see the perfection, some of us like, I don't know why it's in my life. Meaning, some of us think there's some kind of damage. Some of us think there's some kind of mistake. Some of us think today there was wrong thing. So meaning you're not connected to the red heifer, right? Because red heifer represents total perfection. Total perfection of the desire, because red represents desire. So it represents the idea that something, if I see something damaged in the world, it's because something in me is still damaged. If I see that person is crooked, it's because I'm still crooked. If I still see that that individual is lying to me, it's because I still have some lies inside. So I want to remind you, the Kabbalistic way of seeing is to take more ownership to what I see out there, and not to go out there and fix people, and so my life will be better. That doesn't work this way. So the red heifer represents such a perfection, a total perfection between all the kingdom. The reason that bug bite me today and make my afternoon, oh, I'm sitting here, I like the view, and then this bug is, this mosquito, oof, annoying my feet, right? And it seems like unpleasant or not perfect. No, it's so perfect. How it needs to bother you. And instead of something else bothering you in life, so that mosquito came and little sting bother you, as opposed to the bank calling you, as opposed to something horrible happen. Perfection. Perfection. Anybody, okay, so let me, invite many bugs. No. See the perfection, it comes in the right moment, in the right second, right when you're about to go to sleep and it's in your ear. Right there, it has to be so perfect. The unison, the connection between all the kingdoms is to support each other for one goal, to bring the perfection into reality. So, the red heifer telling us, each one of us, this is the first idea. The first idea of the red heifer is what? Each one of us need to willing or to be desired to sacrifice part of their ego for the other. For example, when we learn in Kabbalah about pause, we learn in Kabbalah about delay your gratification. We call it in Kabbalah the power of restriction. So today I had an opportunity to restrict. And I says, no, I don't want to restrict. In that moment, I brought the entire world a little bit closer to chaos. And when I do restriction on that particular situation, unrelated to anybody in this world, I bring the world closer to revelation. We don't understand that. And again, people might think, oh, what an ego. Why? It is an ego trip. No, it's from the point of view of responsibility. That you take the world up and down depend on how much work you do for yourself. Now, I'm not asking you to now go and meditate today for 30 minutes and then go around and post it on social media, guys, you feel the light, I meditate. No. You do it and you work on yourself and you work hard on yourself for the sake of the world to get closer and closer to perfection and elimination of chaos. So this is the first idea of the total connection between us. So when you overcome something, the entire world overcomes something. Another thing is the word that I said before, the laws. Like I said, that there are many spiritual laws that the world is not yet ready for or needed. And the reason is because our spiritual progression is not yet there. Like I gave an example, you know, many years ago, when there was no cars and traffic, there was no any law or DMV, right? There wasn't any DMV, you go and this, and you have to do the theory, the written test, and the right? Now you go, there's like a whole book you need to learn, encyclopedia that you need to learn to drive in the city, right? Why? Because when the population grow, now you need to add more rules and regulations to help people to save themselves from themselves. Same thing spiritually. As the generation grow and elevate, now there are tons of spiritual law that none of us are really aware of. And the reason is, each one will be revealed. Now, for now, is it a law that everybody need to wake up and meditate? Is it a must? No. It's a suggestion. Wake up in the morning, do 30, 40 minutes, work on yourself. Some people that take themselves seriously, or take their spiritual path seriously, they know, I don't give myself, I have rules of how to navigate through the chaotic life. I take care of my soul, and then everything follows. But today, as we're going to grow more laws will be revealed. Before we start flying planes or building high rises, we didn't know about gravity, right? How many people climb up, a few thousand years ago, right? Maybe in a tree and they fall. What do they call it? I don't know. So now we call it a law. Like this, there are many spiritual laws, universal laws that people are unaware. And that is the beauty of Kabbalah. This my desire is to reveal all those laws, because each one of those laws give you a muscle to handle more light and more pressure of that light in this world. Number two, in this story of this week, we find Moses are in the desert with all the Israelites. And again, these are all stories that are very much a clear message for us today. And it's the story of Moses hit the rock. Have you heard that story? The guy told Moses, talk to the rock and water will come, and Moses hit the rock, and therefore everybody think Moses cannot go to the land of Israel because he hit the rock, he didn't listen to God. Obviously, I don't want to say anything about it, but it's not the right thing. This situation, that Moses standing in front of everybody, and God tell him talk to the rock, and he hit the rock, it represents for our life. And again, by the way, because it's appeared in the universe, few thousand years ago, that lesson was revealed. Today, this week, that lesson is available to harness its own properties, its own gift. What is the gift? Is to choose what reality do you want to live in, to reside in. A reality of a struggle and war, of fighting and hitting and banging your head in the wall, or a beautiful conversation and communication with each other that can lead to the same thing. The whole world went to such a chaos for 12, 14 days. Everybody got scared from whatever happened right now in the last week or two. And they came to the moment that now they're talking. Couldn't we go and not hitting each other, killing everybody, and now you're talking? This is what it represents. You have to make a choice. Either I want to live reality with struggle, it has to be fight, it has to be struggle, or communication. Let's talk. That's why we got a mouth. That's why the kingdom of human called HaMedaber, the one who speaks, the one who communicates. And this is what we have this week. And again, I'm saying this because when we, people of studying Kabbalah, or when you hear that, and you got to decide, and when you decide this week, the entire world will start thinking of, this is the quantum, right? The entire world all of a sudden will say, you know what? Why do we need to fight? It's not an argument, it's a discussion. It's not a fight, it's communication. It's an opportunity to connect. That's what we all need to say to ourselves. And I'm telling you, you don't need to even to go to work. By communication, you can generate manifestation beyond. It's because we think we need to struggle 8 hours a day and 60 hours a week and nightless sleep and all of that. That's what they told us. That's what they convinced us. That's what religion told us. So today, I want to talk to the rock. What does rock represent? Right? There's many layers over there, but it represents that I think that no one is going to get it. It seems like a rock. It seems like they don't get it. It seems like they are not there. Right? I am talking to the rock. I'm calling to the wall. Right? Or talk to the hand, as they call it. Right? Number 3. In this week, the sister of Moses, her name is Miriam, left the world. She died. And it's a very interesting interaction over there. Because a few weeks ago, we read about Miriam, that she spoke a little bit bad about her brother. To be quite honest, it wasn't that bad. I mean, compared to today, she was just concerned why he left his wife alone. That's it. Anyone today will say, oh my God, that's nothing, right? She was just concerned. But it was not the right thing for her to do, right? We're talking about this level. In that level of her, right? And she got leprosy, she got disease and stuff like that. I'm thinking like the entire nation seeing like that elevated person get this type of disease and leprosy. What do they think? Right? This week we're reading about her passing. Interesting enough, after her passing, now the Israelites have no water. That's why they went to Moses to see where the water. We don't have water, bring us water. Right? But because Miriam left the wall, the water stops. So that technically it's said that they had a well that traveled with them all these 40 years. They never had lack of water. That well was walking with them all the time as long as Miriam was alive. As long as Miriam was alive, water was always in their possession. How do they know? She died. The water stopped. Now, on a side, or maybe the main point that I want to make here, because every year you look into shedding another layer of this story, of these different stories, right? But nobody knew, like, of course, brother and close people, that maybe some people know, but she, or even believe, that she is the source of water for all of them. How many of us, maybe throughout the week, when, let's say, imagine you see Miriam doing something to her brother, talking bad about her brother, and we don't know that she is the source, right? We might have something bad to say about her. We might have complained about her. We might have like, what is this person, right? We all had something to say, or some of us maybe didn't like her. But what if you know that she is the source of light for you? How would you behave? We all in life, my dear, and please listen to this, open your heart for that through your ear. We all have a Miriam in our life. We all have that. Like it can be one client that gives you a source of income that you don't know. It can be one individual who bothers you. It can be a mosquito that is just, once you kill it, you kill all the challenges that might bring you light. We all need to look at that very deep and open. It's really, you need a heart for that, not mine. It's not a thinking thing. Because while you go through a struggle and you think that person, if I just get rid of that individual, we all have this one individual that if that person won't be in my movie, wow. And that is the source of the water in your life. If you know that, I'm sure you'll start looking at every challenge and every moment and every person with tremendous appreciation. So this is what's available this week. And this is how we bring the Shekhinah, right? By looking at those things, by changing by reframing how we look in situation and people in your life. That you think they are thrown in your shoes and the source of life for you. 4. When the water stops, it says this verse, Vayarev ha'am im Moshe. And all the nation starts fighting with Moses. They came to Moses, and listen to this. This is a very interesting point. I like to say interesting because I want to awaken your interest in this point, but it's a very deep connection that we need to make here. They come to Moses, and look at that. They tell him, Lama hotzatanu mimitzrayim? Why you took us out of Egypt? And this is the moment the water stops. They come to Moses and complain big time. Why? I don't understand why you brought us here to die. What is going on with you? You brought us all this challenge and all of this, and now there's no water? And now you want to make our life even worse? Right? First of all, it's very, very important for all of us to really acknowledge this story. Why? Because in life, the first challenge that you have, you immediately want to go back. Immediately want to go back, right? You left a relationship that it was worse, and then you don't find someone new, immediately you're thinking, oh, I should have stayed. You leave your parents' house, and now you want to start your life, and then it becomes so hard, and your laundry is stinky, and I don't have money to finish, and in my parents' house, I have all the food over there, and clean clothes, and quiet from... Why? Right? The first challenge that comes to us, the reaction for us is always to go back. Yesterday was better. Oh, if I would choose, if I could have, should have, would have, all of those things. Pause. Pause. Very big pause. Because if you're going to look for a reality of yesterday, and you, by the way, you're moving today because you're looking for a reality a little bit better than what I had. I thought it's going to be a little bit better. I didn't expect so much, but I thought it's going to be better. Most of us working every day to make it be a little bit better, right? You know what? It's not that bad. Yesterday was so bad. Now it's a little bit less bad, so it's okay. This is not what we're doing here. The Israelite, even think about it for a second. How can they say, let's go back to Egypt? They were a slave. And they said, no, they weren't a slave. Because they had fish and watermelons and foods and all abundance, right? All the food we had there, all of this, right? It's like if you see, God forbid, somebody that were in the Holocaust. I know a few people. Would they say, you know what, oh, it's too hard in America, let's go back to Germany? Nobody will say that. Nobody. Right? Anybody want? No, I don't want to go back. Let's go back to the war with Iran. Let's go back to the war with the Gulf. Right? Let's go back to that. It was okay. No. You can't go back and thinking, let's go back to the way it was. Even our Kabbalah center, right? The way it was, or how when my teacher was here, sitting here. Actually, I'm sitting exactly where my teacher office was. This was his desk. That was his chair, right? So I'm sitting next to my teacher. He's right here, right? Where? Benjamin? Yeah. No, we're not going back. We're moving forward. And the forward mean you don't go to a little bit better, to a little bit this. Yeah, sometime in life you need some wins, little wins to acknowledge that you moved. But the consciousness of this week is I want a reality that is unexplicable. Unimaginable, because if you can imagine your reality, it's not the right thing. I said it countless times. If the reality that you're striving for is in the logic makes sense, it's not the right one. It's geared and motivated by ego and by other people's ideas. It's not a new thing. It's not immortality. It's not. It's not when everything becomes possible. And this is what we're waking up every day. Not to, I hope today will be a bit better. Oh, you know what? It was so hot in New York. Now the heat was broken, so it's feel a little bit better. This is how we live our life. That has to stop. And increase our desire to see something beyond that. 5. After they complained to Moses, they fell into what we call the different diseases, different sicknesses happening in the nation. So in this particular one, it was snakes that caused different disease, different death. So Moses had instructed to take a snake and wrap it around the staff. And it says, Ve'ebit el nachash hanechoshet v'chai. Everyone that will look into that snake, wrapped on that's why you see today in every pharmacy. Look at pharmacy. What's the sign of pharmacy? Is a staff with a snake. Same idea, right? It's from the Bible, it's from the Torah. That particular snake, right? It's because the disease or the pain or chaos came because of snake. Snake is the cure, right? So now again, in this week, you have the power of healing. Why? Because we spoke about the month of Cancer. The month of Cancer also represents the disease cancer who starts spreading in the world. And that's the seed level of that. And therefore, in this month, there's tremendous amount of healing that we need to do, that we need to bring to our life and to the world. Download the healing energy. So first, what's available is health consciousness, right? Know that I have the best doctor inside. Know that all the surgeons inside of me working and they fixing every tear and pain that exists. Knowing that right now the professors and the healers inside of me healing everything inside of me. It's not from the outside. You need to awaken this week and for the entire month the healing, the repairing energy, but is really activated by health consciousness, healing consciousness. All of us chasing after different healers and I'm healing people and all of that, that's great. but they are the result of you are in the process of self-healing as well. Now that's what's available through the snake. But they're also important to understand that every troubles or every situation that you in, the solution grow right there. It's like the, you know that the hive that grows, you know that, what do you call it? Is that plant that causes people hive? There's a name for that.
Poison ivy.
Poison ivy. Thank you. That's someone I need. Sometimes I need help. Okay. The poison ivy, you know, the plant next to it is the actual cure. That's what they say. So the poison ivy grow here. Right next to it, the cure. Another plant that can cure you from that. So we all know that the actual problem is the actual solution. That the actual question is the actual answers. That the actual people in your life are the actual, your soul connection. Everyone. So, most of us don't understand that you know, the healing, the solution, everything is right here. Never grow somewhere around the, outside of the world or outside of your sphere or magically will come from somewhere. No, it's right there with you. If you're not convinced about it, it's always going to be far away. It's going to be sending you out of the tent, right? So we know that what do they need to do? What do they need to do? It says, "Ve'bit el hanachash al hanachash," and the person need to look at the staff with the snake and got cured. Now this is a situation, I always mention this particular thing in a wedding. So when we perform a wedding, is the one thing that each one of you want to represent for each other. And each one of us need to have that person in life. That when you have a hard day or difficult moment, and you meet that person that you love the most, and you look at them and they look at you and they tell you, don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Boom! It cures you. We all need to have that person, and we all need to be that person for somebody else. This is a healing energy, because it's not about like, everything is good. No. When there is a tremendous amount of love and tremendous amount of care between each other, you just need to look at each other and says, everything gonna work. And you feel that, boom, it's gonna work. That's the healing. That's what he's telling you. You don't need doctors. Think about it. Like in Hebrew they say hospital, Bet Cholim, the house of sick people. To send somebody to a hospital is to send him to sick people home. That's the consciousness of that. It has to change. Healing centers. Anybody go to the ER and says, I want to talk to a healer? Rofeh. Rofeh is a healer, merapeh. He's a healer, he's not, experiment. Let's experiment. I give you the diagnosis, I'm thinking maybe. And prognosis, I'm not so sure. I said it many times. The problem today is no one communicates with each other. It's all fragmented. That fragmentation eventually causing more chaos. When we don't understand that everything is connected to everything and we don't see the connection, we don't get the healing. But when you have two people connected or a group of people connected and everybody support you and just looking at you, just a look in that compassion heals you right away. So obviously we want to be those people for others, and we want those people in our life. We want to create a community of healing, of energy, and eventually immortality to the world. So let's eradicate chaos, pain, and suffering, and do the work internally for the rest of the world, and awakening all parts of the world for this type of light, the light of Kabbalah, all the rules who help us protect us and eliminate chaos. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the week.